Things popped off. All right, just waiting. Oh, there he is. What's up, bro? How you feel?
I'm all right, man. How you doing, bro?
Hey, man, everything is good, man. Thank you for,
Good.
first and foremost, man. Thank you for taking time out to join me tonight, man. I think we'll have a good conversation because I know that you have a lot that you need to get out there to the world, and I want to make sure that you have a
Indeed.
platform to get it out there, man.
I appreciate you letting me do this, man. It's a beautiful thing. So definitely shout outs to you for that.
Oh, word, no doubt, man, no doubt, man. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another dope edition of Dope Chats with Stretch. That's me, yours truly, Stretch, coming to you from Studio B, aka the basement. This is a great time for us to really kind of just shine a spotlight on a lot of individuals who are really doing big and powerful things, especially in the community, especially in the Black community. And tonight's guest is a man who's actually doing that. Great concept for his children's book. I want you to all show some love and give it up to my man Isaiah Daniel. What's going on, brother? How you feel?
I'm all right, man. No complaints here. How are you feeling, bro?
Can't complain, man. We rolling through that Mercury retrograde. I just kind of found out a little bit about that, man.
Man, we've been rolling through that for the last year and a half.
Yeah, man. I broke my phone, cracked my screen. This is just this is a replacement phone, as a matter of fact. And I've only had it for like less than 2 weeks, and
Wow.
now I gotta
Not getting another one.
gotta get another one, man. I'm just wasting money, bro. Wasting money.
It happens though. That's how these phones are made, man. As soon as they get ready to bring out something new, the new updates and all of that stuff, we end up doing something stupid to our phones. So
Oh man,
definitely understand that.
it's crazy, man. So I want to let everybody know, man, you are the author of a children's book entitled The Sun, the Moon, and the Stars.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about the book and what made you want to get into writing being a children's author, rather.
Well, at first, so a little background history is that my father never was around when I was growing up. So I always wanted to like tell that story in an autobiography, which I started writing, let's say about 12 years ago. I started writing that,
Mm-hmm.
but I never had the concept on how I wanted to actually finish that book. So I just kept it. And then I started to have kids of my own. And once I had kids of my own, I'm like, well, this is a great opportunity for me to try to do something different and actually tell them that I love them and show them that as well. You know, sometimes we don't have the opportunity to tell our kids or show them how much we love them and how much we care. And half the stuff that we tell them, they don't really understand it. So I put it in a book format so that they can always go back and read it. When they get older, maybe read it to their children. And, you know, the same concept where little girls need to see their themselves represented in books and all different types of stuff, Barbie dolls and everything. Boys, young males and their fathers need to be shown their representation as well. So I figured this is a great way to do that.
And I dig the concept, man, because it is a story about a young man, a father and his son,
Yeah.
and the father explaining to him the beauty of everything that's above us.
Hmm.
Um, what what I guess in a sense, like when you wrote the book, what other than and I get what you just explained, but like
Hmm.
what's the meaning that you wanted to get across through writing this book, that not only that parents can understand but also a young child.
Well, pretty much the perspective on life, and you know, like how we look at one thing, but somebody might be sitting next to us and see a whole nother thing. Like I
Right.
can talk to my kids about something, and that's the great dialogue in the book that it talks about. My perspective now as I get older is going to be way different than what my children see. They're going to see it for exactly what it is. So then I tell them my perspective, and then one day they'll be able to understand that later on. Because you know, like our grandmothers, our fathers, our mothers, you know, they always telling us like great gems when we're growing up, having those conversations. But it's not till we get older then we start actually
Right.
understanding exactly where they coming from. So that's the reason why I wrote the book. Not only that though, but mental health and emotional health, dealing with Black young males and their fathers as well. Like sometimes we get angry, don't know how to talk about our situation. So I wanted to put that in there as well. That you know, anger isn't the first um, emotion that we should go based off of, but we should actually get to the root of our issues and try to figure it out and try to turn it into something positive instead of just, you know, being fueled by that anger. Because I mean, when I was growing up, I was fueled by the anger of my father not being around. So I did a lot of stupid things and not really paid attention to the men that were in my life until I got older. Then I started to listen and understand exactly what they were saying. And it came back to me, man, and I was able to actually get a chance to tell those people that I was sorry for being, such a young male and being stuck in my ways. But
Right.
I learned, you know,
And
and I wish I would have listened back then.
And it's awesome that you bring that up, man, because now that we're in this sort of this world of uncertainty of being restricted and not being able to do your day to day as it was just 4 or 5 months ago. Mental health is definitely something that's been hitting the communities, more so the Black community. Talk to us a little bit more about like your impact, or what is that you're trying to get across as far as like getting into depth about mental health.
Well, so I mean, one thing is that we have to understand exactly what mental health is and what comes along with that. Me being who I am and growing up, I mean, like, I just figured out that I've been depressed for about 23 some odd years of my life. I'm like one of the most, spontaneous people you'll ever meet. I'm happy. I'm always having a good time. Don't let my situation fuel me to, be angry around other people or bring them down. I hardly even talk about half the stuff that I ever been through.
Right.
You know what I mean? But one of the things is that when I'm alone and I'm by myself, I have time to think about the stuff that I went through. I cried a lot of times. Nobody ever knew. Last year was like one of the hardest years of my life because I met my grandfather 2 years ago on my father's side, which I thought, that relationship was finally somewhere that I can actually get over the fact that my father wasn't around, learn stuff about my father, because the only thing that I ever learned was from my mother and that situation. And, it comes from a little bit of bitterness and all of that stuff.
Right.
But to figure out who my father really was as a man, and then when I first met him, I found out that he also had cancer, maybe like a month after that. So he lived, a year and a half after that, but he passed away last year in March, and it was like the toughest thing for me, man. And it was a sense of relief too, to kind of like let go, because he was able to be with his son and all of that stuff, and I hope he was able to tell his son that I forgive him. In a sense, I try to do that all the time, but I think a lot of Black men out there, they don't really understand what depression is, mental health and all of the stuff that we actually go through, because it's not the best thing to do, to talk about your feelings. It's not, women can do that, but for Black males or for any male, to be honest with you, it's soft. It's not deemed to be the right thing. And I'm kind of jealous of the dudes that have that sensitive side and can do that, because I never was able to actually get to that point in my life where I can actually have that sensitive side. And, having boys is the same thing. Trying to raise them up, I don't want them to be considered to be soft and crying and whining all the time. That's not the trait that I want. But I have to realize that sometimes they don't know how to talk about their feelings and their emotions. So they have the right to get angry and do all of this stuff. But I need to get them into the mode of, talking to me, man. Use your words, figure it out. Let's do it together. So that's the reason I'm trying to do something different, especially with this, man.
And that's dope, man. I really commend you for, taking that step forward to make sure that you're able to convey that to your son, and also having that experience to even meet your grandfather, prior to his passing. But
yes, sir.
But to build that relationship. And I know we as men, we always try to put on that exterior of like, I ain't no tears coming out. Look, I'm a Pisces, bro. I'm as sensitive as they come. I cry. I go to my therapy, man, and like that for me was like one of the highlights, I think, for me to evolve as a man.
Yeah.
In the sense of sitting down and talking to someone from a perspective of them being unbiased and just letting me just get it out, because we all have our situations, regardless of whether it's family structure, jobs, relationships.
That's true.
We all got something, and like you said, it's very important for us to have that platform to talk to somebody, and also be able to differentiate the difference between being sad and being depressed, because people get that confused.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference in both of those, man. And I mean, everybody takes their time to be sad, but when it's constant, that's when it jumps into depression, and then it gets your mood down. You don't want to eat and do all of this stuff. A day or two, understandable. Everybody goes through that cycle, but when it's just constant and you just get into these modes and it's reoccurring, that's where the issue lies. And a lot of men go through that, and we don't know the signs of that because
Right.
nobody actually teaches us, you know, how to go through that. And therapy is not one of those things in the Black community that we really care about going to. You know, talking to somebody, you know, we can talk about our lives, make fun of it. It's all good. It's all everything. But the moment that we have to go through therapy is looked at as a sign as weakness. So we
Yeah.
definitely don't take control of that. You know, that's why a lot of us out here do a lot of stupid things instead of just talking and opening up about that too.
Right. And I think that's the mentality that we have to kind of like also step away from, man, because, you know, having that opportunity, and I know, granted, you know, whether it be from financial structure or whatever the case may be, some people just don't have that opportunity to sit and talk to somebody.
That's true.
But us to have like a good friend or a confidant, someone that we can just sit and talk to and not feel the sense of like making ourselves too insecure or being vulnerable, and knowing that someone's going to go spread out business out to the streets.
Yeah, and that's another thing, especially with us, you know, males. I mean, we tend to take on everybody else's issues as well, especially like, so I would be considered a strong friend in a lot of my groups, where a lot of people would tell me things, you know, trust me with a lot of stuff and talk to me about their issues. And I try to give them good advice. So from my perspective, in a different way to look at it, sometimes I play devil's advocate just to see how they look at the situation. But it's comes a time where I need to talk to somebody. And if I know you going through something, I don't feel right going to you about what I'm going through when I know you dealing with stuff in a whole different ball game, and probably don't handle it as well as I do because I've been doing this for so long. So sometimes I just keep it inside, and when I do keep it inside, sometimes it might be that one thing to just trigger all of that stuff, and it's just a constant blow up. So that's one of the things I'm trying to get through in my life now, where I don't do that anymore. I did that last year. I went through a process, and it was horrible, man. So now it's to the point where I'm trying to open up and talk about it more.
Do you look at as your writing as a form of therapy for you?
In a sense, yes. Because now I had this, which is crazy because when I dropped this book, you know, I didn't know where it was going to take me. And now I'm in the process of writing another book, which is probably going to be titled If My Father Was Alive, which is basically all the questions that I had growing up see about when my father was alive, man. I think a lot of us as Black males or that are just fatherless, didn't have our fathers around, have these questions. And you know, sometimes we'll never get the answers to these questions. So I just wanted to, you know, give my perspective on it and what it is, because sometimes we might get the question and we don't, we might get an answer to a question, but not really pay attention to it until maybe it's, you know, too late or whatever it is. So I want to write a book about that as well. I don't know about the autobiography, but it is a sense of therapy. Like sometimes I go back and read the autobiography. I don't even know if I'm ever going to drop that. But this one for sure, if my father was alive, I'm definitely dropping that sometime by the end of the year. I definitely want to do that for sure.
That's what's up, man. Some of the comments, they're saying that's a dope title.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, how many? You said you have children. How many kids do you have, bro?
I have two.
Okay.
6 and 4, both boys. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And so, are they? I know in your first book, the book that you have out currently right now, was the young man inspired by your oldest son or your youngest son?
So what's really weird, right? I had wrote the book maybe back in February of last year. I wrote the book. I was looking for an illustrator, trying to find somebody that could do exactly what I was looking for. Linked up with the girl. She's from Howard. Her name is Tanise Curtis. Shout out to her. Dope visuals, all that. So I ran the story by her, let her read it, and then I gave her basically my vision of what I wanted the people to look like. The son actually looks like my firstborn when he has an actual haircut and all of that stuff, which is kind of weird because she never seen a picture of him. So the inspiration definitely came from, you know, having my first son and everything, like just the way kids talk. I went through a series of asking them like questions about what they know about the stuff, and then they would tell me, and that's where like the conversation really goes. You know, theirs is more so playful, and mine is just, you know, actually trying to teach them some stuff at the same time when we having those little conversations.
That's what's up, man. You have a copy of the book by
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah, I do,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Show everybody the book. There, look, look how dope. Like, it's just so cool to see, you know, a black father and his son on the cover of a book, and
Yeah,
and instill that importance, man. Because like another thing that's really important too, because I know a lot of folks out here have their kids, you know, looking for summer reads, being that school is out.
mhm,
And literacy in our community is very important, man. Can you
definitely.
speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, I know a lot of kids have trouble reading, and it's one of those things where their parents may not be home, and nobody actually sits down and teaches them and try to help them walk through it. Because in school it's kind of hard to look at something for the first time, and then you try to read, and then everybody starts to make fun of you. So in the black community, we try to now I see a lot of the teachers, the parents out there always like reading literacy. And I actually have a boy who actually teaches his son all of this stuff, and it's actually pretty dope, man. Like the way that they go about it, like going to museums and all that stuff and teaching them that, like I never had anybody do that for me.
Hmm.
And it's actually pushing me to do that, something like that with my kids. So that's really good, man. And I just see a lot of black men stepping up to the plate and doing that, and I love it.
Man, that's important that you hit on that, man. Because I know when I was young, I read like everything, man. Because
Yeah,
you find adventure in books. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Especially
you do.
if you don't have that in your life, in your day to day as a child,
Hmm.
because you may be restricted for whatever the case may be. You can always find adventure in a book, and that's
Yeah.
dope.
I mean, for me, like when I was coming up, I hated reading. To be honest with you, I would like to watch like a movie or something like that, get my own perspective. I can tell you everything really about the movie, give you my perspective about the movie, what happened, all of
Hmm.
this stuff, give you the whole rundown. Until I was in high school and I read this book called All Things Fall Apart. And when I tell you that is the dopest book I probably ever read a day in my life, it
Man,
just sparked everything else between me and reading. It was
yeah,
the foundation of everything. I was like, oh, this is how I would be if I was in a book. So I took that. Okonkwo, shout out to him, man. It's just the realest book that I've ever read a day in my life. Like,
I'm,
seriously. So now I like reading, man.
yeah,
I
I'm
love
with
it,
you
to
on
be
that.
honest with you.
I'm with you on that, man, because that book really like kind of like puts a lot of things in perspective, man.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So outside of like writing and creating, man, what other things are you into, brother? Are you like you a big music head?
I like music. I listen to all genres of music, man. To be honest with you, my favorite thing, and it's kind of weird, is EDM, techno.
Okay.
I don't know why I love it so much. Yeah, like, but I think it was one time I ended up going to Miami, man, and went
Right.
to this club called Mangoes, and ever since then it was like they had like hip hop in one place. Now that I think about it, it's kind of crazy because they had the hip hop in the back, and then everything up front was techno, but it was pretty cool, man, and I love it. But I'm really into like Lupe Fiasco, the Commons, and all of
Yeah.
those people, man. I just love dope music, to be honest with you.
Well, that's what's
So
up. Where are you from
yeah,
originally?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
man, we
man.
got a lot of stuff going on up there right now, bro.
Yeah, man. One of my good friends that I used to work with in radio, man, back in LA, she's from Milwaukee. And well, I'm
Okay.
friends with her and her son, both from Milwaukee, man. That's dope, man.
Yeah, man, it's a cool little place, man. It taught me a lot about life. I
Hmm.
can definitely tell you that, man.
Yeah, so you got that good Midwestern value asset,
Yeah,
man.
definitely, definitely.
Then you come to the East Coast and get corrupted, brother.
Nah, it ain't that bad out here. I love it out here, but it might be time to go sometime soon. I don't
Yeah.
know yet.
Nah, that's
Still
what's up,
thinking
man.
about that though.
That's what's up, man. Once again, man, we are talking with my man Isaiah Daniel. He is the author of The Sun, the Moon, and the Stars, a very
Indeed.
important children's book. If you have, and what's the age group for the book, man?
I didn't even put a age group on it. I know you're supposed to,
Hmm.
but I think it's for like all genres of people. Little girls need to read it. Fathers, it's the concept of the book is for when your child is young, you read to your child. A bedtime story. Let's bring bedtime. Let's make bedtime great again.
Right.
By reading this book, reading mad other books and bringing them to your children. And then when you get older, when your child starts to get older and you get older, then your child can read you those books too. They can tell you their own perspective by reading the book as well when they get to the point where they can understand life a little bit more too. So I didn't really put, an age limit on it. I just want everybody to read it if they can, And not only that though, but I'm bringing a visual to it as well. So something like how I don't know if a lot of people have seen, well, a lot of people have, but there's a visual called Hair Love, which started off as a book, and then he ended up creating a short film for it. So I'm in the process of working on doing that now. So I'll be probably trying to put it in the theater soon and all of that stuff, man. Breed like a dope little spot to it.
Well, man, let me tell you, man, you're gonna ride that black wave right now, brother, because an
Most
Oscar
definitely
coming your way for an animated.
Hey, man, that's what I'm looking for, man. I've been putting that in the atmosphere for the longest, bro. So I'm definitely doing that, and I appreciate you for sure, man. This is beautiful, and I thank the platform. I thank everybody that has listened to what we talked about today, man. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, bro.
Word up, man. But before we get out of here, I want to shout out one person, my girl Danella. She left a great message. She said, "My son and I love the let me get it right. The sun, the moon, and the stars. As a mom, it's so hard to find an age-appropriate book highlighting a beautiful relationship with a father and son who resembles us." So
that's real, and I appreciate you for that, man. That's what I did it for. Honestly, it's for mothers, whether their father is around or not, just to read to their kids and let their boys know. At the end of the day, no matter what relationship your son has with their father now, hopefully they can mend that relationship later on in life. I mean, I've had to forgive, my relationship between my mother and father all my life for the most part because they weren't around and not doing what they're supposed to do for me as I thought that I would be. As a child, I think the most influential relationship that you'll ever have in your life is your relationship with your parents. And that's one of the things I don't have. So I need to bridge that gap and try to forgive, but also try to find perspective and understanding of where both of them went wrong or went right and didn't really know how to talk about it. So it's a lot of stuff I can't get from my father because, of course, he's deceased. But, trying to figure out how my mom was and the things she went through when she was younger and tried to, cope with and dealt with it in her own way, it just tells me a lot about life, and gives me a different perspective and a lot of love for her, what I mean? As more so than all of this anger that I once had for her at first, so I'm just trying to change the narrative, man, and do something a little bit different, man.
Man, brother, you're on the right track, man, and I applaud you for all your efforts. I applaud you for the wonderful book, man.
Thank you.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's very important for us as men, as sons, as fathers to have that relationship, that solid relationship, man, because we need to bring it back and rebuild our family structure the way that it used to be, I don't have any kids. I look forward to the day that I have kids, man.
Hey, man, I look forward to it too, man, because you got all these books you can buy right now to get yourself together for. So when the time is right, you'll be all right.
You ain't never lied, man. You ain't never lied.
That's a beautiful thing, man. It's gonna be a great relationship, though, man. The feeling of actually having a child, in any perspective. I mean, I know everybody's situation is different from their thought process and how they go about it is a lot different. But when it comes time to have children, of course you will go through things. You're definitely human, but at the same time, a lot of that stuff has to be put on hold for a little bit, and you have to learn to figure it out while you're doing what you are supposed to do as a parent. So I mean, it's hard, but you got to take time out for yourself for sure. But only do that when they lay down and go to sleep or all of that stuff. Try not to bring that around them because they don't really understand what's going on. All they see is anger. And you don't want them to push that out to the world. So definitely, man.
That's important, man. Keep positive energy. Negative energy
for sure.
Creates more negative energy, man. So
that's true.
That's
what's
definitely
up, true, bro.
So, Isaiah, this is the time for you, brother. The platform is yours. I want you to show your book. Tell everybody where they can purchase it, where they can follow you, and the whole nine.
All right, so the name of the book is The Sun, the Moon, and the Stars. You can get this on Amazon. Right now, I don't actually have physical copies of the book myself. You can follow me at _Trash Bros. That is _TRASHBROS. If you hear the title of that, you can hit me up because a lot of people don't understand what I was doing with that. It's actually like a double entendre, you know. Everybody throws away trash, but somebody might go in that trash and figure out something that's beautiful about that trash, no matter how you look at it. So, you know, just a play on words. Not everything is what you also always see and deem it to be as soon as you look at it. So always change that. That's why we in what we in now. A lot of people don't understand that we are beautiful. We are, you know, intelligent. We are not out here all angry and doing all of this corruption and all of this other stuff, creating all these crimes. We are just like them. So it's the same thing that, you know, looking at that is the same way that people are looking at us. So change your perspective on a lot of things, especially when you first look at a book. Don't judge it. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things. And I look forward to bringing y'all, you know, a lot of different things in the future. So hopefully, you know, I'm just trying to change the narrative, change life, you know, figure it all out while raising children and being a better man for myself and for them and, you know, for my future in general. I just want to be better.
Man, you're doing it, man. You're doing it, and I applaud you 100%.
Thank you.
Man. I thank you for taking the time out tonight to.
No, thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro. This platform is dope. What you're doing with your platform is, I mean, just giving people a voice. You know, a lot of people don't have this opportunity, so thank you for that, man. I appreciate you on that. You know, you're doing something great, man, and just keep it up, bro.
Blessings, man. I appreciate you, man. So once again, thank y'all for taking time out tonight. Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Dope Chats with Stretch. I want to once again give some love to my guest tonight, Isaiah Daniel.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all pick up that book, follow that brother, and you already know he got some great things coming your way very soon, man. So with that being said, y'all have a good night. And Isaiah, man, be safe, brother, and continue.
You too, man. Blessings to you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a good one. Peace.